Hi, welcome to Your Business, Your Rules. I'm Kat LeBlanc. This is the podcast for people who want to start and grow an online location-independent business so they can live a life of freedom and choice on their own terms. Welcome to episode 23, How to Set Your Pricing. This is a super juicy topic and one that can get people really riled up, and it's something as well that can feel really personal. The reason it feels personal is because it's putting a value on your time and current skill level. So it is a personal decision. But before we get to how to set your pricing, I want to explain that it's not a representation of your worth, your intrinsic worth. So what do I mean by that? I mean that your pricing is a representation of your current skill level as an entrepreneur right now. It has nothing to do with how good a person you are or your worth as a human being. So just because you might charge more or less than someone else, that just reflects your current stage and type of business, not you as a multifaceted human being and your personal worth. So when you hear the charge what you're worth rhetoric, just remember to separate the two. Okay, so how should you set your pricing? Pricing is affected by 4 factors. 1, your level of expertise. 2, your social proof. 3, your sales skills. And 4, your confidence. Let me explain why each of these 4. The reason is that each of these factors boosts the price point that you'll be able to make sales at. So let's say you're excellent at what you do and you've got great social proof, so that might be that you've been published, have some really strong testimonials. You will still have difficulties charging top rates if your confidence is low or you don't know how to handle a sales interaction. How about if you have excellent sales skills, your confidence is okay, you have relatively little experience in your field and relatively little social proof? You're going to be able to sell at a higher price point than someone in the same situation who doesn't have your sales skills, because those skills enable you to get the value of what you do across to people. So each of these factors, your expertise, your social proof, your sales skills, and your confidence, increases the price point that you'll be able to get yeses at. The better score you have essentially for each one, the more you can charge. Not because someone else is giving you permission, but as you improve in each area, your work is more desirable and you're more capable of getting those yeses at a higher price point. This means if you're new, have minimal testimonials, and are clunky when you speak to potential clients, they will feel that you don't have much experience with this and won't be willing to pay top dollar for your work. Which is why the strategy that many coaches teach of starting with premium prices in almost all cases doesn't work. If you've been doing this for a few years, you wow people in the call and they can see you've got lots of testimonials and your confidence to get them results comes across, that will be worth more to people. You have to have the sales skills, confidence, social proof, and expertise to get the yes. And I've seen many people burned by this charge top rates from the get-go strategy, and honestly, I was one of them. It actually almost completely killed my revenue in the first few months of business by adopting that strategy. And I speak to a lot of people who have gotten the same advice, tried it, and become increasingly desperate until they solve the problem. So I believe in charging market-appropriate pricing and increasing your prices as your expertise increases, your social proof grows, your sales skills improve, and your confidence grows. If you set your prices beyond your capability of actually getting the sale, you won't make sales, right? And when that happens, your confidence will decrease, you'll get desperate, which honestly people can smell. Your social proof stays pretty stagnant and you don't get practice to build your expertise in your field. So the core message here is price appropriately to your level so that you can get the sale. Then, as your skills, confidence, and social proof grows, raise your prices. Make sense? Cool. So this can be reverse engineered to set your prices in the first place. So 3-step process here. Step 1, figure out the range of pricing in your niche. If you don't know for sure, ballpark figures will do fine. You want to know the minimum price that people are charging for an offer similar to yours and the maximum price that they're charging for an offer comparable to yours. Step 2, give yourself a score between 0 and 5 in the areas of expertise, social proof, sales skills, and confidence are 4 factors, right? 0 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So if you're new to this might not feel like an awesome exercise to do, but remember, you're just getting a starting point. Step 3, enter this data into the pricing calculator that you can get at catleblanc.com/pricing, and I'll put a link as well in the show notes. And then you'll get an approximate price point. So what this calculator does is if you give yourself a 0 out of 20, which means you rated yourself 0 in every category, it sets the price to the lowest price point in the market, so that minimum price point that you put in. So let's be clear, it's extremely unlikely you gave yourself a flat 0, but that's how the calculator works, otherwise the maths does become quite messy. If you rate yourself a 20, which is a 5 in every category, it sets the price to the maximum price point. So in all likelihood, you are somewhere in between. The calculation is linear for the sake of simplicity, whereas in reality, pricing curves are normally curved, right? They're not linear. Your pricing increases more at the higher end of the scale than it does at the lower end. So generally in the beginning, when you're less experienced, your price jumps are smaller. When you're much more experienced, your price jumps are bigger. So this means the number you get is a ballpark figure for you to use. If you don't like the number, that is totally okay. It's up to you to change it. Sometimes people want to hear a number and the number's super helpful and they can run with the number. Sometimes people want to hear a number and their reaction is, oh, but I think it should be this number. And if that's your reaction, that's totally fine. Go with your number, right? Ultimately, we want a number. We want this to not be a barrier or a blockage to make decisions to move forward with your business. Just remember, you want to price appropriately to your ability to get the sale. Because as a new business owner, you want sales. And think of this price point as the price for your next 3 sales. After that, you get to reconsider. You get to raise your price if you're ready to. Coming back to what we've been talking about through the podcast, pricing is a factor of your expertise, your social proof, your sales skills, and your confidence. And as each of these areas grows, you get to also increase your price point. I hope that was helpful for you. If you want more juicy details on getting your business started, check out the Zero to Paying Clients Masterclass at catleblanc.com/masterclass. That's it today for the podcast. I hope that helps with your pricing, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thanks for listening to Your Business, Your Rules. I'm Kat LeBlanc. If you like this show, I'd love you to subscribe, share, and leave a review on iTunes. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, head over to my website at catleblanc.com. Until next time.